probably what's the most common issue that most people end up having is buying a turntable that cheaps out on its mechanism. And this can be very much an issue even if the turntable itself is listed as expensive. Which is why in this video, I'll run you down through the best turntables so far, listing their key features and ultimately what you would want to look for to find the right one for you. You'll find links to all of the turntables mentioned in the video in the description below, but let's go ahead and get started. Kicking it off is the LP70X as the best turntable for beginners. As far as beginner-friendly turntables go, Audio-Technica has a reputable track record of providing rock-solid, affordable, entry-level turntables that are ready to spin out of the box, and that's exactly what you get with the LP70X. What is basically quite of an overdue upgrade from the popular 60X, this is currently the best entry-level turntable for anyone looking for a solid good mid-range option as a beginner. It spins at both 33 and 45 RPM speeds, making it compatible with both standard 12-inch albums and smaller 7-inch singles, and is fully automatic, meaning you can hit start to play and the tone arm will return automatically at the end of the record. But what makes it especially valuable for newcomers is that the stylus is part of the company's new VM95 series of interchangeable styli, which means that as you progress in your vinyl journey, you can easily replace or upgrade the LP70X's bottom-of-the-range stylus from the 6 available options. And that alone makes it very well worth the extra investment over many entry-level turntables. And it also comes with a built-in switchable preamp, which can be connected to just about any sound output option you have, which also means you won't need to buy anything separately. Sound quality here is also really good for its price range, but for an even better experience, you could always invest in pairing the turntable with high-quality speakers. And I have included suggestions for some of the best speakers you can pair with this turntable in the description below. Now, one downside which might not be a deal breaker is that you can't adjust the anti-skate, which means you might not get the most accurate tuning tracking force. Likewise, this turntable does feel more lightweight compared to most heavier turntables, which is not always the best sign as this could question its durability in the long run. Still, not the biggest drawbacks to what is one of the few really good options for beginners who want a fully automatic, easy setup, beginner plug-and-play turntable. It also is available in Bluetooth and non-Bluetooth version, all depending on whether you want to go wireless. Overall, for more than a reasonable $200, the LP70X ticks all the things that makes AT's deck so good for beginners and notches up the quality just the right amount. And with a new and much better cartridge, a redesigned tone arm, and some anti-resonance chassis improvements from the previous model, it does strongly justify its investment. And just like the previous 60X model, this is probably one of those turntables that will always be out of stock, and especially because of the price to performance value that you get. Up next is the LP120X as the best mid-range deck. If you are looking for a manual and better quality entry-level turntable from AT's lineup, the 120X does hit some really good spots for most people. But you should note that if you go this route, you do miss all the automatic functions like auto stop which the 70X gives you, but you still get pretty good features that will probably last you for years. This turntable features a direct drive motor, which means you get faster startup times and accurate consistent speed, making it more ideal for DJs or those who might consider themselves as more of serious vinyl listeners. And spinning at 33, 45, and 78 RPM speeds, it can play virtually any type of record, including 12-inch albums, 7-inch singles, or even older 10-inch shellac records. This deck also packs really good adjustable anti-skate controls, which maintains proper tracking of the stylus in the record groove, reduces wear on your records, and potentially improving the sound quality that comes out of your speakers. It also includes a built-in preamp so you don't need to buy anything separately. And when it overall comes to other control and convenience features, there isn't much that the LP120 does not offer. You get a tone arm lift and lower control lever, a removable cartridge head shell, adjustable pitch control to adjust speed of playback, and vibration absorbing feet. And since the turntable is equipped with AT's VM95E moving magnet cartridge, sound quality here is rich with balanced output of both bass and trebles. But again, for an even more better audio experience, you could always upgrade to a better cartridge and pair it with high quality speakers. Now, just like any other turntable, it does have some cons that come with it. Firstly, the built-in preamp, while convenient, is a weak point, and it is better to use an external preamp or an amplifier with a built-in phono stage for better sound quality. The platter could also benefit from better damping, as it rings slightly and potentially could affect sound quality. These downsides, however, still don't take anything away from what is the best mid-range turntable you can get right now, with features that could easily last you for years, all at a $300 sub-price point. But for the same price point, you could also look at the Fluence turntable discussed later in this video, which also holds really strong points over the 120X that could be comparable in your opinion. And coming in at number 3 is the Rega Planar 2. The Rega Planar 2 is simply one of the best close to high-end turntables from Rega, and the only downsides we can highlight is that they do come at a premium price, and especially if you live in the US. But whether you are a starter or upgrading, Rega turntables are almost a no-brainer choice for those who want a deck they won't feel the need to ever upgrade. While the Rega Planar 3 is their top-tier turntable from Rega's premium lineup, the Planar 2 was developed alongside it, benefiting from much of the research and development that went into the Planar 3. As standard, latest Rega Planar 2 models do come with an ND3 cartridge, which deliver a spacious, open sound that's airy and dynamic, characteristics typically associated with moving coil cartridges. And while the ND3 is slightly reserved in the mid-range compared to something like the Ortophon 2M Red, it handles transient heavy songs with a natural ease. And as a significant upgrade to the Planar 1, the RB220 tone arm fitted on this deck is also designed to minimize friction thanks to its ultra-low friction bearings, and is simply just a great tone arm even when compared to what is fitted in a lot of turntables right now. And when you combine these features plus the new 24-volt low-noise motor, this allows the deck to deliver high-quality audio playback while minimizing unwanted noise and vibrations. And this attention to detail in motor design is also part of what contributes to the Planar 2's reputation for excellent sound quality, all at a price that won't demand you thousands of dollars more. Another standout feature is the plinth, which is very high gloss acrylic, available in white, black, red, and a walnut effect, and is supported by low surface contact feet, which offers solid vibration control. But sadly, there's no height adjustment for leveling the turntable. Likewise, there's no speed control on the Planar 2, which means you'll have to move the drive belt manually by first lifting the platter to gain access, though this is very common in many minimalist Rega and Project turntable designs. For the most part, setup is also really easy, but for absolute beginners, we would highly recommend using a tracking force gauge to ensure you've got the correct tracking force, as it is a bit more fiddly than some other models, because there's no traditional dial with numbers on the counterweight. You can find the gauge at a relatively cheap price, and we've also included a link to that in the description below. Another model you can consider is the Fluence RT85, which offers excellent value for the same price range, especially in the US, where Rega and Project models can be relatively more expensive. Fluence balances features, lifestyle functionality, and sound quality well, but their design is less purist than Rega's. For instance, the RT85's tone arm bearings have a bit of play, which you wouldn't find in a Rega turntable. But overall, for those looking to stay well below the $1,000 mark while enjoying the renowned build quality and sound that Rega is known for, the Planar 2 is undoubtedly a hard-to-beat option. And coming in at number 2 is the Fluence RT82. For roughly $300, the Fluence RT82 is the best value for your buck you can get with a turntable right now. Compared to other competitors in the same price range like the 70X for example, it is a bit more expensive, but for the RT82, you miss out on all of the automatic functions except for the auto stop feature, and you do need to buy a phono preamp separately. But you should note that the 70X is more built and geared for beginners who simply want a plug-and-play deck without absolutely needing to add or buy anything separately for their setup. But the build of the RT82 is slightly better than the 70X, with a body/platter that reduces vibrations and resonance better, and an overall better stylus and cartridge. As standard, it comes with an Ortofon OM10 cartridge, which is an older design from Ortofon, but it is a solid bit of hardware to find on a $300 turntable and benefits from easy-to-replace styling and tracking force. There is also the ability to choose from improved stylus profiles too. And to sum it up, there are so many pieces of equipment and parts you can change and go down deep rabbit holes when it comes to your record player setup, but the stylus or cartridge your table uses is where it all starts. But what sets the RT82 apart from most decks is its S-shaped tone arm, which is another rare sight for record players at this price point. And since this S-shaped tone arm better mimics the natural arc of record grooves, it improves tracking accuracy as the needle stays straighter within the grooves, resulting in fewer tracking errors and distortion, all leading to improved sound quality. The RT82 doesn't have a 78 RPM option though, but having one cheap cart for Tatty Records and a nice one on a better head shell would be easy to do. This is also helped by a decent range of adjustment for tracking force and anti-skate, although there is no adjustment for VTA. And when it comes to the sound quality, this table delivers a full, rich, and warm vinyl sound, typical of a quality elliptical stylus. The instrument separation and full soundstage shine when playing well-pressed records, and it immediately sings with that unmistakable vinyl sound. And bottom line, the RT82 is easily the best hi-fi record player you can build for this price point, and especially if you are looking for a deck that will give you plenty of headroom to grow as your budget permits. And taking our top spot as the best overall turntable is the Project Debut Evo 2. With all the improvements Project made from the initial debut Carbon Evo, which was already really good, the Debut Evo 2 is easily one of the holy grail turntable for most people, and this is for a solid reason. For starters, it comes pre-installed with the Picket MM Evo cartridge, co-designed with Ortofon specifically for Project. Ortofon cartridges generally pair well with Project tone arms, and this collaboration is also a way of blending seamlessly with the turntable's aesthetics, on top of giving it its unique signature sound. The aluminum platter is also significantly heavier and more dense than the Carbon Evo's metal platter, and this alone combined with TPE damping is great for speed control because it creates greater inertia and helps keep the speed much more consistent. The tone arm here is also the signature 8.6-inch carbon fiber design from Project, which is well known for being very rigid but also lightweight. This of course helps retain high trackability and translates to giving you a more clear and undistorted sound. Additionally, the tone arm now has a larger CNC milled aluminum bearing block, which facilitates even greater control over resonance and helps for stability during playback. Project have also TPE damped the tone arm counterweight, which is a really important feature that was previously reserved for their higher end models. And while you might not hear each upgrade individually, the sum of these changes do contribute to a cleaner sound by minimizing resonances that could otherwise cloud the tone of your cartridge. Additionally, the Evo 2 retains the motor speed control introduced in the previous model, though it no longer supports 78 RPM, but this is quite of a niche feature though, and most vinyl lovers will overlook that for the dampening resonance control improvements that you already get. Sound quality on this deck is also easily the best value for sound you can find at this price range, and this is largely because of the moving magnet cartridge and all the vibration and isolation improvements that you get. The bass is punchy yet controlled, and high frequencies are also more detailed and smooth, avoiding the harshness that's common in most budget turntables. And while Project turntables allow for future upgrades like the platter, subplatter, and cartridge, the Debut Evo 2 just sounds great right out of the box. Bottom line, Project has continued to improve on an already established classic, going the extra mile to squeeze as much performance, yet only costing a little more than its predecessor. It punches way above its weight and a strong rival to even A-tier deck options that can cost considerably more. And for today's honorable mention is the LP3XBT as the best entry-level alternative. Priced at $300, the LP3XBT offers unmatched value for an entry-level auto turntable. It's more of a significant step up from entry-level models like the budget LP60 for example, giving you a much better build quality, more upgradability, and an overall good sound performance. It spins at both 33 and 45 RPM speeds, making it compatible with both standard 12-inch albums and smaller 7-inch singles, and being fully automatic, it means you can hit start to play, and the tone arm will return automatically at the end of the record. But what makes it especially valuable for newcomers is that it comes with Audio-Technica's VM95 series cartridge, which supports for an easy stylus upgrade system. And while it ships with a basic conical stylus, you can always upgrade to an elliptical or even a Shibata stylus for improved sound quality. And this is also what gives it most of the edge over the newer LP70X, for example, which is locked to only working with the VM95 series of styli. The 8.6-inch straight tone arm here also comes with a real counterweight and anti-skate dial, as well as a detachable head shell, so you can customize or even upgrade to a better cartridge. And for those who love the convenience, Bluetooth connectivity here is also present, so you can always stream vinyl audio wirelessly to compatible speakers or headphones. Now, with the stock conical stylus here, the sound is warm and smooth, though it lacks some detail and dynamic range compared to higher-end manual turntables like the LP120X. However, upgrading to the green elliptical stylus, which you can find for under $50, it significantly improves the sound, giving you an even better mid-range detail and a tighter bass response. And for the best performance, pairing the turntable with an external phono preamp is also recommended, as it unlocks greater detail and dynamic range. But overall, most if not all automatic turntables often sacrifice sound quality for convenience, but the LP3XBT kind of separates it from the crowd. And really the only cheaper / next best alternative here is the LPW30BKR, which then would mean you'll have to give up on both Bluetooth convenience and automatic functions. But that pretty much wraps up our video. We'd appreciate if you shared your experience or even had any other strong recommendations we might have missed. Don't forget that links to all of the decks mentioned and everything else that could be helpful are all in the description below. And if you also found this video helpful, don't be shy to like and hit that subscribe button for any turntable guides and updates in the future. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.